What's going on, you guys? It is Waffle back in here with another video. Um, a couple things I really want to talk about is nothing that's new. It's just new facts regarding Vic and Monica and their situation. I know a lot of people are getting tired of it. People are really tired of hearing about Vic, but if you're a big fan of anime, if you're a big fan of Dragon Ball, you understand why this is a big deal. Vic is the voice of Broly, or was the voice of Broly, and Monica is the voice of Bulma. Now, for also the people who don't watch Dragon Ball and watch other animes, you will probably recognize Vic's voice because he plays the voice of Edward Elric in Full Metal Alchemist. If you don't, if you haven't watched the anime, I highly recommend you. It's a thumbs up, more like a two thumbs up. I watched that whole series before, and it took me like a month to do it. So anyway, so basically what's surfacing is Vic right now. Vic posted um on the 13th. He basically oh no, this is an old one. No, this was a recent one he did. Yeah. So this one he did a day ago. It's basically, it's out and read. Words cannot express the depth of my gratitude for all of the kindness and support that has been shown to me over the last few weeks. I had hopes that my apologies and acknowledgement, both public and private, would be received. I have now reluctantly retained a lawyer, a law firm, as my last and only recourse. I don't know if he meant to say resource, um, to attempt to salvage my reputation and my 20-year career in this industry. A friend expressed the desire to set up a GoFundMe for legal expenses. I approved his kind offer and I am so grateful, but I am not managing it, nor will I personally receive any of it. Any money that's extra will go to the Dallas Domestic Violence and Abuse Shelter for the Salvation Army. Um, he also writes, I hold no malice toward anyone. I just love my work and the fans, and I sincerely wish to continue. So he's basically expressing the fact that, he really wants his career back. If not with Funimation, somewhere else. This guy spent 20 years in the voice acting industry, and that's a long time to be in a career for you to just be fired for just like that. And it seems that if nobody's really taking it to heart how this guy is feeling, you know, not saying that he's innocent. I'm not for sexual harassment at all. Zero tolerance. You know what I'm saying? I have kids. I have a daughter. You know what I'm saying? If my daughter called, me and said that that's been going on, who knows? I might not be sitting here. You know what I'm saying? So, sexual harassment is never anything to play with. But at the same time, if he's as innocent as he says he is, and I guess the kind of like the frustration that goes on in his mind is, you know, I spent 20 years, you know, doing this. Why would I mess up my 20-year career? Now things happen, but and also in Funimation, a company I spent 20 years with, developing friendships and close friendships with people, all decided to turn their backs and not even hear my side of the situation. They just straight up went to Monica and called it good. I mean, they let me go, and so Funimation also wrote that in the midst of this whole investigation, they decided to uh, recast Vic in a season two. Let's see here. I don't even know if I'm on the. I am not on the right one. Wow. Well, anyway, basically they decided to recast Vic in a season two of some show, and they won't be working with him in any future productions. So they made it clear that they're not going to work with Vic anymore. Um, at one point, I can agree. I you know, at the same time, I'm like, it's kind of a fail on your part because you're worried about your reputation, but you've destroyed your reputation anyway. You know, you basically what you were trying to avoid ended up happening anyway, and I think that's what people are getting kind of mad about because you know people who stand with Vic and understand like, look, there are false accusers out there. You haven't even heard, or even you don't even have a whole lot of proof about the situation for you to say automatically Vic did it and to take action right then and there. Because if Monica happens to be making the whole thing up, I'm not saying that she is, but if she happens to be making the whole thing up, you basically like you screwed your reputation either way. You know what I'm saying? Because if let's say if Vic is found innocent, you know what I'm saying? For one, Vic, be honest with you, if you are found innocent in the situation, not saying that you'll watch the video, but if you are found innocent in this situation, I really hope you don't go back to Funimation because, you know, you can honestly tell, you know, the true, you know, how you know, true people, you know, are when they try to jump on the bandwagon and they be like, oh, yeah, we're trying to make ourselves look good. We did this, we got rid of him, we fired him. Yeah, you don't have to worry about him ever again. And then when things kind of go south, we realize that the actual was, you know, that he was actually the victim in the situation. Be like, oh well, you know, we want to express our deepest apology and the whole situation. No, you know. So, uh, Funimation may be a big corporation, but they're not the only corporation. I would hope not. So, um, but if he is found guilty, then obviously he's gonna have to suffer the consequences for that action. Uh, Monica tweeted, oh yeah, and before I go to that part, a lot of what Christopher however you pronounce his name, Sabat, whatever, the voice of Vegeta, he said something that I guess has everybody raising their eyebrows because this person on Twitter, I'm not gonna read it, had tweeted something and Chris's response, I guess I read it. I just don't have the luxury to keep scrolling. I should have snapshotted everything and then was able to, you know, scroll quicker. It would have been that way, but I didn't. So whatever. Um, so this person had tweeted something, and Chris' response was, "Sex is way easier." Um, okay, here we go. So, sex is cool. This is what she wrote. Yeah, sex is cool, but have you ever opened your heart and mind to the idea that we are all just sparks of the infinite source of consciousness and that manifested in this realm to help each other evolve and bring knowledge to this finite incarnation back to source? Christopher Sabat said, sex is way easier though. Uh, Now, some people who read that tweet are kind of like, you know, if Vic said that, those who do stand with Vic, was that if Vic did say that, you know, everybody would have been like, oh, be jumping on him for it, including Chris and Sean and even Monica. You know, they're just, you know, probably looking for, and I think they're both following the advice from both for their lawyers, is if the less they get on Twitter, the better. And they're taking legal advice, and they're just trying to avoid each other. They really have no choice. I mean, Vic has no job right now. I don't know what he's doing now, and I honestly, they're both hurt from the situation because you know they're both suffering a loss in this situation because it just seems like not only a loss in career and you know emotional and however Monica is feeling, but the loss of friendship because it seems like these two were very close friends, and that's what kind of sucks in the industry, especially involving you know a male and a female, where you start off in the industry and as good friends. Now, I'm not saying that because I think Monica Rial wasn't the original voice. No, she wasn't the original voice of Bulma. Uh, but when she got recast, or when Bulma got recast and the new voice of Bulma, Monica Rial, showed up, I'm pretty sure they all welcomed her with open arms. And I don't know how long she's been with Funimation. I think Vic probably might have been on there longer than she has, but it just seems like these people were really close friends. And now with the new year and the release of the new Broly movie, it did really, really well in theaters. That's the thing. It did so well in theaters to the point where they kept it in theaters, did like an actual movie. Um, and it's just like, Broly got so many good reviews about it. I watched the Japanese version on YouTube before they shut it down because it got too mess views and they were like copyrighted mess, all that good stuff, kind of stuff kicked in. But it just seemed like they were really close friends. So it's a loss, any way you take it, a loss of career, a loss of of pride, self-respect, and a loss of true friendship. A loss of true friendship, and it just kind of sucks that it went this route because and I don't know about the situation too much, but it just seems like hopefully this isn't the case, that it was addressed once before. Now I don't know this guy's history. I don't know what he's like behind camera or behind closed doors. Nobody does, but it just seems like if this was an issue, has it been brought up more than once? You know what I'm saying? Like, has it been brought? If he really did do it, has it been brought up before? Because like, did this just happen? You know what I'm saying? Like, did this just abruptly happen, or were there gradual changes to this whole thing? Monica said something in a tweet that apparently his behavior changed. Did it make her uncomfortable before? Did this cause them to kind of not want her to be in the same room with him anymore? You know what I mean? Like, did this get brought up to corporate once before? And if so, why wasn't it nipped in the bud then? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like all of this kind of happened abruptly, and then now they're just taking affirmative action. So, and now and I'm assuming that it has just did this because with the whole fact of Vic responding to Monica on these tweets, telling her she needs to stop these accusations, she needs to stop this, we need to talk, all that kind of stuff. That's the last thing you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime there's a situation like this, the last thing you want to do is to tell that other person, message or calling her to stop. You honestly need to just get a lawyer and handle it that way, because that's more ammo they can use against you. And unfortunately, you got caught lacking. You know what I'm saying? And I know you heard about it, but this is the time to not get in your feelings. And if you're innocent as you say you're innocent, then you will have nothing to worry about. God, I wish I could agree with that. that statement that I just said. I wish I can agree with that, because even if you are innocent, man, it can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you're innocent technically doesn't mean that you're gonna be free about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, these things are serious. I just really hope that she's not falsely accusing them and over some bad blood or falling out, because what the hell was that? Oh, that was my sticker. Oh, okay. That kind of scared me a little bit. But anyway, yeah, that's the thing that kind of gets me though, because like the whole thing just happened suddenly. This whole thing couldn't have just happened suddenly. Like, it had to been, not saying that from the time that they released it, it just happened, but it just making it seem like all it took was just oh, he did it. If he made her uncomfortable as she said he did, was it brought up to him? That's the whole thing about being an adult about the situation, is You know, if you're working with somebody that you have to see every day or work with every day, you know, or for the most part every day, every other day, however their schedules work, and this person is making you feel uncomfortable, you talk to that person. And if they're doing something that you don't like, especially if it means putting their hands on you in any type of way, you know, I wouldn't necessarily, being a man is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, if you do this again, you know, the the smart way would to say I'll be letting them know and pressing charges. Me, sometimes you just play, look, man, you touch me again, I'm just take you outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, but on a serious note, though, if Vic did this, was it brought to Funimation before? Did they give him a warning? Did they just suspend him? Like, nobody's mentioning it until now. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody is saying their piece now. Like, it's happened just like that. And it's kind of hard to believe that if this is abruptly, like, happen like that, would anybody to damage their 20-year career, you know what I'm saying, 20 plus year career over something as foolish as this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy's been doing voice acting for 2 decades. You know, he's made a lot of millions, hundreds of millions of people laugh, smile. Same thing with Monica. You know, those who grew up on Dragon Ball Z and watched it and looked at Broly and a lot of his specials and stuff like that, and be like, come on now. If I worked for somebody and made a living off of something that I love to do for 20 years, you think I would ruin it over something like this? Like, that's the thing that's just not making sense about it. It's just everything is happening so suddenly, and would Vic ruin his 20-year career? Now, Vic did also say in a video that sometimes, when you're working in this industry and you have hundreds of fans coming to see you and greet you, and you do autographs and all that kind of stuff, you do develop a habit of constantly hugging, putting your arm around somebody, you know what I'm saying, being all close. You're invading temporarily in somebody's space. And, with that being said, not everybody wants their space invaded like that. So you honestly don't know who to expect, you know what I'm saying? And as somebody who is, you're a public figure and you're at these, conventions and whatnot, and you want to show them that, you're human. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have emotions, I have feelings. I'm not want to be one of these stuck up people out here that act like I can't, hug, or no, don't touch me, no, ew. You know what I'm saying? And for the people and for the public figures that do that, I'm pretty sure it's no offense against you. It's more kind of having their own back. This for their own safety, because anybody could say anything. So, Vic, obviously expressed his, remorse about the whole situation. He he didn't realize, I guess in his defense, in his words, he didn't realize how bad it was until it got bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about a situation. You never know how bad it is until it gets bad, and by that time it's too late. So it's a sad situation for both parties. Monica's obviously distraught about the whole situation on her end. She's saying these past few weeks have been the hardest of her lifetime. Nobody ever wants to go through that kind of stuff. Nobody would ever think in their lifetime that they will have to press charges against sexual harassment against somebody who they worked with, and nobody who, will want sexual allegations pressed up against them. Nobody would think that. Nobody, I'm pretty sure Vic didn't think, after working his career in this field for 20 years, he would ever have this kind of, accusations against him. It's a sad situation. My heart goes out to both of them, but and Sean Schimmel, in his tweet, he is also having his 2 cents in with the situation. A lot of people who are on Monica's side are are telling people like leave Monica alone. She's going through a lot, which she is. And those who are on Vic's side are saying, people need to support Vic and help him. I wouldn't say support, or I guess support his GoFundMe page. He has it for a reason. Somebody is offering help to pay for legal expenses because that stuff does get expensive, especially when you have no career. I'm not trying to throw shade on Vic. I know I kind of sound a little sarcastic when I said it, but it's the honest truth. When you got this and you have no job, it's literally like you're like people are trying to set you up because not you're getting sued and you just got fired from your job. So I don't know what he's doing now. I don't know if he gets royalties. I'm assuming. I know how royalties work. It's just when you get fired from certain things, because I'm pretty sure he will have to get it because it is still his work. So as long as this Broly movie and Full Metal Alchemist whatever gets played, he still gets paid from that. I'm assuming. So Broly grossed in some good amount of money. Let's actually see how much it grows. Not saying that he'll get all of it, but I'm just kind of curious here. Mm. This cover art looks sweet. Oh wow, yeah. So it budgeted 8.5 million. It grossed 103 million. So it grossed it grossed quite a bit of money. So it did really well. So yeah, I'm assuming the portion of that will go to Vic and Monica. So excuse me. But it's just an unfortunate situation about both are yeah, and it's a fail on Funimation's part because either way their reputation, if that's what they're thinking of, their reputation is you know is going down the drain because nobody is really supporting Funimation like that anymore. Uh, it's kind of like it will for those who are Monica or Vic supporters, that they're not going to support it either way because they're looking at Funimation like, okay, you set Vic up. They're looking at Funimation on in regards on behalf of Monica and be like, you're allowing somebody who sexually harass people work in your company. Yeah. So and by any chance that Monica is lying, it kind of just shows what Funimation, they're just gonna look bad on Funimation regardless because they're gonna look at it like, dang, like we fired the wrong person. Or as far as Chris and Sean, like what they should have did was they should have just. I know they're trying to have a friend's back, and but they should have honestly just stepped back from the situation because in the event of she is lying, you guys are gonna look very stupid. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a fan of you both, but you guys should have just supported it from a distance instead of tweeting about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're against sexual harassment. We know we're not for that, but it's kind of like they're acting like pawns for Funimation because it's kind of like Funimation is telling them like you have to say this to make us look good, otherwise it's not gonna look good for you guys. So because in the sense of Jesse Smollett situation, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody was all for Jesse Smollett tweeting and putting on Instagram like, man, support my brother. Like his family was behind him in the whole situation. Like, oh man, he got hurt. Prayers for Jesse. And everybody. It was all over the, well, not all over the news, but in articles and people were. It was a big deal. How it made it. How he made it. But you read further down the line as things start to change, the story starts changing, and things aren't adding up. And then people start, and then you hear something about him used to lying to the police and going under false identity, in the past, and for over a DUI, driving under the influence, all that kind of stuff. And then now all of a sudden, you hear that he hired people, and um, just it didn't look well at all. So then he, it made him look bad. It was a fail on his own, and because of the whole thing, he wanted a publicity stunt. He lucked out of screen time for Empire. They cut him out at a lot of shows. You know what I'm saying? And after this whole thing, now that they officially found out that he's been lying to the police, who knows if he'll even be recast on Empire anymore? You know what I'm saying? They might let him finish out this season, but after the next season, who knows if there'll be a Jamal Lyon? You know what I'm saying? All this over a publicity stunt, and apparently he was doing something they shouldn't have been doing. I'm not going to disclose exactly what he's been doing, or what he was planning on doing, but and I haven't read any sources of exactly where or what he was going to do, but it was just kind of like people were saying that he was planning on doing something that obviously wasn't right, and he got caught up. And yeah, so, but that's just kind of like the whole thing with this Funimation deal. you know um it's just kind of like everything just kind of just started abruptly, just poof, allegations, fired, boom, legal actions, Twitter post, left and right. You know what I'm saying? And now, if either party is lying, obviously they'll, if Vic is lying and he is guilty, obviously they sided with the right person. And I still don't agree with the whole, if Sean and Chris were on Monica's side, what they shouldn't have did was posted it all over Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Cussing people out, talking all this kind of stuff. They should have just supported her, from a distance. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they have voice, they can speak about on the situation, but at least that's what I would have done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have supported her in the sense of, if you need any help contacting people to help you for any legal issues or whatever, I would do that. But I'm not gonna go on Twitter and I know that in their defense, they're just trying to have a friend's back, but and it just seemed like everybody just kind of boo-booed on Vic and just kind of left him in the dark. You know what I'm saying? And he's just trying to, in his case, he's just trying to to build his reputation back. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to be that person. So, or have that reputation of being that type of person, because when you have that reputation about you, and obviously it goes public, especially if you're a public figure, nobody will hire you. So, hell, not even freaking Meyer or McDonald's, or maybe McDonald's, I don't know. But yeah, any other place, like, you did what, dog? We're not gonna trust you. We're not gonna have you make our company look bad. What the hell? So yeah, it's a sad situation. Funimation. I really hope you guys are siding with the right person on this, because if anything comes back of being false, you thought your reputation was going to be down, was bad now. Just hold up. Just hold up. That's why you got to be careful of going straight to action without really using your mind. You know what I'm saying? When you act before you think, you're going to regret it quicker. So I think a lot of people went off impulse. The only people that really should be in their feelings about the whole situation should be Monica and Vic. And honestly, in Vic's case, he shouldn't be in his feelings at all, because instead of pouring out to Twitter about constantly saying sorry, the more you say sorry, the more guilty you look. If you're innocent as well as you say you're innocent, you know what I'm saying, stop saying sorry and try to prove your innocence. You know what I'm saying? Keep going with this law firm. Try to find as much support as you can. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be an easy trip for you, but you know, the fact of the matter is you're in it. And just keeping it 100 with you, man. You're in this situation. Nobody can fight this situation for you except for you. And the more you keep saying I'm sorry about it and going on Twitter, Twitter's not going to pay your bills, man. Honestly, Twitter's not going to, you know, help you get your job back. You know, you can say sorry until you're blue in the face, man. At the end of the day, you still have to figure out how to maintain your innocence if you were innocent with this whole situation. And, you know, listen, take your lawyer's advice, stay off the internet as best as you can, and don't talk about the situation, especially to the other party that's, you know, pressing these allegations against you. That makes you look bad and makes you look like, you know, makes them look like a target, or it makes you look like a target because you're saying that this person needs to stop it. So so yeah, that's pretty much it. All I gotta say. My next video, I will talk about something revolving Nintendo. So stay tuned for that. Follow me on Twitch too. I do stream. I have no followers, so if you guys follow my stream, it's Waffles616, WAFFELZ 616. I play all types of games. I just downloaded For Honor, this this medieval game here. It's actually pretty cool, so I'm actually looking into it. I got Kingdom Hearts 3, Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I've been grinding on Dragon Ball Xenoverse, so I think I got maybe a handful of more characters I got to get before I complete the game. I've been busting my butt hard on these parallel missions, so. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Again, follow me on Twitch and subscribe, man, because I've been grinding, working hard, trying to get these videos out, and I'm still going to keep putting out content, man. Take care. Much love.